Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue the questions of 2022 Foundation Tier Paper 1F. Question 19. The diagram shows parts of three regular polygons, polygon A, polygon B, polygon C. They're meeting at a point. Polygon B has n sides. Work out the value of n. So we need to find the number of sides of polygon B. Now, because it's regular, it means we can use the methods of 360 divide the number of exterior angles and the n minus 2 times 180. Now, first, we're going to find the angles. This is the interior angle of the regular polygon. So first, we have to find the interior angle. This is x. And because this is x, so all of these together add up to 360. So first, I'm going to add all of these. So 7x plus 3x plus 8x equals 360. This is the first step of finding the value of x. Now, 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So 18x equals 360. Now, I'm going to take the 18 to the other side by dividing. Because it's multiplied, I'm going to take it by dividing. So x equals 360 minus 18. So let's write it here. X equals 360 divide 18. I'm sorry. So x equals 360 divide 18. And the answer is 20. So x equals 20. Now, we take 20 and multiply it because we're working on polygon B. We're going to multiply 20 by 7. So 7 times 20. 7 times 20 equals 140. So the interior angle of this polygon is 140. And because the interior angle is 140, imagine this is the polygon. So the interior angle is 140, like this. 140. Now I can find the exterior angle, which equals to 180 minus 140. So the exterior angle of the shape will be, very good, 180 minus 140 is going to be 40. So the exterior is 40. Now, because I found the exterior angle, I can find the number of sides because I know that 360 divide the exterior angle, which is 40, will give me number of sides. So 360 divide 40 will give me number of sides. Because when you divide the total of the exterior angles of any polygon is 360. And because it's regular, it means you can use this method to find the number of sides. So 360 divide 40 equals 9. And this means that n equals 9, or the number of sides equals 9. So as we said, first thing we did, we added these and made them equal to 360 because this is a whole circle. And then after that, we found the value of x, which is 20. We substituted here. We multiplied by 7. We got 140. And 140 is the interior angle of the polygon. And then we found the exterior by subtracting by 180. And then we divided 360 by the exterior, and we found the number of sides. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 20, expand and simplify. We have double brackets. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in here. Now we're going to expand the double brackets here. So when we expand brackets, we're going to multiply the first one by the first one and then by the second one like this, okay? And then first by first, second by first, second by second. So n times n is n power of 2, n power of 2, like this. And then n times 4 is going to be positive 4n, okay? And then negative 6 times n equals negative 6n, negative 6n. And then negative 6 times 4 equals negative 24. Now, we're going to simplify the like terms. We have 4n minus 6n. n squared becomes the same like this. So it's n squared. And then plus 4 minus 6 is going to be negative 2n. And then negative 24. Negative 24. And this is how you answer a question like this. So when you expand and simplify, focus on the steps. So it should be n squared negative 2n negative 24. So focus on the steps of expanding and simplifying. Now let's move on to the next question. Let's see. Let's go down. Question A, solve this and show clear algebraic working. Now to solve this, first, we imagine that this one is a numerator with a denominator of 1, and then we cross multiply like this. So when we cross multiply, we're going to multiply 3x minus 5 by 1. So we will have 3x minus 5, same. And then we're going to multiply the 4 by 2x minus 3. So we write the equal sign and then 4 brackets 2x minus 3 like this. And then we close brackets. Now, because we have brackets, it means we have to expand the 4 inside. So expand it here and here. So this one will be the same, 3x minus 5 equals 4 times 2 is going to be 8x. And then 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Okay. Now, to solve this, we have to do what? We have to take the x's to one side and the y's to the other side. Not the y's, I mean the numbers with without x's. So we're going to take the 3x here. It's going to be minus 3x. So this one's going to be minus 3x. Okay, and remove it from this side here. And then we're going to take the 12 to the other side because it's negative 12. We're going to make it positive 12 here. Okay. So this one will be positive 12. Now I'm going to add the like terms together. So negative 5 plus 12. Negative or 12 minus 5 is going to be, yes, 12 minus 5 is going to be 7. And then equals, so 8x minus 3x is going to be 5x. So 5x equals 7. Let's write it here. 5x equals 7. Now I need the x alone, and the x is multiplied by the 5. So I'm going to take the 5 by dividing. So the answer will be x equals, it's going to be 7 over 5. 7 over 5. Now this is the answer as a fraction. Okay, like this. I can make it as a decimal by dividing, or I can make it as an improper fraction. To turn it into improper fraction, I'm going to use the same denominator, which is the 5. And then divide the 7 by the 5, it's going to be 1. 1 point. I just need the whole total whole number. Now 5 times 1 is 5, and then subtract from 7 is going to be 2. So 1 and 2 over 5. And 2 over 5 is 0.4. It means the answer in decimals is going to be 1.4. You can write it as 1.4 like this. Now you can do the same thing or make it 1.4 or 1 and 2 over 5. All answers are good because they didn't tell you in which type they want the answer. So all answers are good. You can write them like that, and all of them will be accepted. Now let's move on to the next question. Focus on all steps of algebraic work. Next question. 21. Asha bought an apartment. The table gives information about the value of apartments in euros and the annual service charge band. So here, this is the value in euros, and this is the service charge band. So this is A, B, C, D, E. These are the values in euros. In 2021, the value of Asha's apartment was 634,400 euros. The value of Asha's apartment had increased by 4% from its value in 2020. As the annual service charge band changed for Asha's apartment? Show your work clearly. First, let's take a look at the number here. 634,000. Where do you think 640,000 should be? Very good. It should be here. So the service should be B. Service is B. So for this value, the service is B. Okay. Now we want to check after 1 year of 4% increase, did the service change or not? Did it become bigger or larger than 700,000 or not? So it means let's find the 4% increase and then check if the service changed. Okay. So as we said, this one is 2021, which is B. Now it's in the value of B. Now this value has increased by 4%. So the original of this one. So we're gonna find the original and then check if the value was in C, for example, or not. Okay. So first, we know that this is the new value and this is the percentage and it's increase. So we're gonna use we can use the X method here. We can use the boxes first. Yes, we can use the X method here and check if the number has changed from the service charge band. Okay. So first, uh, we don't know the original, which is 100%. Okay. So the original has 100%. We don't know it. We know that the new value is, which is in 2021, has increased by 4%. It means the 104 is the new value, which is 634 and 400. 6,300 as 634,400. Okay. Now, this is after the increase of 4% increase. Now we're trying to find the original value and see if it's in the same band or not. So we're going to multiply these numbers and then divide them by 104 so we can get the original value in 2020. So let's multiply these. So 100 times 634,400 and then divided by 104. So the answer 610. So the original value is 610,000. This means what? It means 610 is still at the same band. So it means it didn't change. So the annual service didn't change for Asha's apartment. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, Pam bought a boat. In each year after Pam bought the boat, the value of the boat depreciated by 15%. Work out the total percentage by which the value of the total boat had depreciated by the end of the second year after Pam bought the boat. Okay, so in this question here, there's no price that you're supposed to find. You're only supposed to find the total percentage by the value of the boat had depreciated by the end of the second year after Pam bought the boat. So the word depreciated means it will decrease by 15%. So the first year it will decrease by 15%, and then it will decrease again by 15% in the second year. So let's say, for example, she bought the boat for $100, for example, okay? For $100. Let me show you. Basically, the idea is about finding the percentage of decrease. We're not trying to find any prices. We're just trying to find the percentage of decrease. So let's say she bought the boat for $100, and then it will decrease by 15%. Decreasing by 15% means what? It means it will decrease or minus 15 from the 100%. 15% means 15 over 100. Okay. Now, decreasing by 15%, it means multiplying it by 85%. So I'm going to multiply the 100, which is the price, by its multiplier. Now, how do we find the multiplier? We're going to take the 15 divided by 100. We're going to find the depreciation multiplier. So 15 multiplied by divided by 100. Okay. And because it's depreciation, so we're going to subtract it from 1. So we're going to say it's 1 minus 15 over 100. And the answer will be 0.85. So this is the multiplier of 15% decrease. So we're going to take the multiplier, multiply it by the original price. Let's say it's 100. So we're going to multiply it by 0.85. Now, this is for the first year. This is for the first year. And for the second year, same idea by 15%. So we're going to multiply it by the same value, which is 0.85. So multiply by 0.85. Right? And the answer will be, after multiplying two consecutive years, it's going to be 72.25. So we said that if we imagine that the price was 100, okay, the price was 100, and we decrease it 15% in two consecutive years, the price will become 72.25. 72.25. Now, we're trying to find the percentage of decrease from 100 to 72.25. As we said, these are example prices, just to let you know how we did it. Now, after knowing the original price, this is the original price, and the new price after the 2 years decrease, I'm going to use them to find the percentage change by using the formula of new minus original over original. And then after you find this, you multiply it by 100 because you're trying to find the percentage. So you subtract these and then you multiply it by 100, divide and then multiply by 100 to get the percentage. So now I'm going to use these numbers. So the new is 72. As I said, the answer will be in negative. It means it's depreciation or decreasing. And then divided by the original, which is 100. And then you take the answer and multiply it by 100. So the answer will be multiplied by 100 to find the percentage of decrease. So I'm going to do this here with the calculator. 72. So 72.25 minus 100 and then divide 100 and then multiply it by 100 and we will get negative, and negative means decreased, so you don't have to write it. So the answer will be 27.75%, and this is the decrease that happened through the 2 years, okay? And this is the answer for this question. So 27.75%. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 22. A cylinder is placed on the ground like this. This is the height of the cylinder. The height is 18 centimeters. The force exerted on the cylinder or by the cylinder on the ground is 72 newtons. The pressure on the ground due to the cylinder is 1.4 newtons per centimeter squared. So the pressure is newtons, or the force, over the area, because pressure equals force over area. Now the question is, work out the volume of the cylinder. Give your answer correct to three significant figures. Now, basically, to find the volume, you need to find the area of the cross section. Now, we're going to use this formula because we already know the force and we already know the pressure. So we're going to find the area and then use it, multiply it by the 18 to find the volume. So let's do this here. Zoom out. Okay, let me do it here. Now we're gonna use the this formula as we said. We're gonna find the area uh, of the cross section. Now, before we use the numbers, I'm gonna change the place of the area because I'm looking for the area. So the area will come here by multiplying, and the pressure will go back by dividing. So the formula will be changed like this. Area equals, let's write it here, area equals force, force divide pressure, okay? Pressure. Now, after changing the formula like this, I'm going to use the numbers and divide them to find the area. So this is the force, and this is the pressure. I'm going to divide them by each other. So 72 divide 1.4 to find the area. That's the line, a fraction. So after dividing, I will get the area. So 72 divide 1.4, and the answer is uh, 51.42. So 51.428, like this. Now, this is the area of the circle. Now, I just multiply the area by the length of the cylinder or the height of the cylinder to find the volume of the cylinder. So 51.428. Basically, I'm going to use the whole number in the calculator and then multiply it by 18 and I'll get the volume. So times 18 will equal 925.71. Now, the question wants me to give my answer correct to three significant figures. So I'm going to round this to three significant figures. 1, 2, 3. The 7 is big. We'll add 1 to the 5. And the answer will be 926. And because it's in centimeters, the volume will be in centimeters cube. And this is how you answer a question like this. So I use the formula. I changed the place of the area here by multiplying and got the pressure back by dividing. So I divided force over pressure to get the area, multiplied the area of the cross section by the height, and I got the volume, rounded it to three significant figures to get my answer. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 23. Write this in standard form. Now, to make this in standard, let me zoom in. We have to understand what's the meaning of standard. Standard is a number between 1 to 10 and then multiplied by a 10 with a power. So I have to move the decimal point here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I moved it here to make the number between 1 and 10. So the number became 8.9. And then multiplied by a 10 with a power. Now the power, because I moved that way, will be negative. So it's going to be negative. And because I moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's going to be negative 5. So it's going to be 8.9 with multiplied by 10 with a power of negative 5. Now let's move on to the next question. Here. Write this as ordinary number. Ordinary number, it means a number that doesn't have a 10 with a power. Just multiply it and you'll get it in the calculator. So 8.4.34 times 10 power of 4. And the answer is 834 with two zeros. So 83,400. This is the ordinary number of this number. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's move on. Question 24, simplify this. Let's take a look. First, here we have 40 with a bracket and the power is 0. And anything to the power 0, it means it's 1. So it's going to be 8 times 1. Because the whole thing is to the power 0, it's 8 times 1. So it's going to be 8. Now let's come to this. X power of 6 divide x power of negative 5 equals x power of p. Find the power of p. So here, because we're dividing the same variables or base numbers, it means we're going to subtract the powers. So the powers will be 6 minus negative 5, like this. So negative or minus minus is positive. So it's going to be 6 plus 5, and the answer will be 11. So P equals 11. So focus, when you divide, it means you're going to subtract the powers on top of the variables. Now let's move on to the next question. Yeah, 24. P is done. Simplify this. Now, because all of them are multiplied, it means I'm going to take the power. Let me zoom in so you can see the idea. This is very important. If you have something inside a bracket and all of them are multiplied and they are raised to a power, it means you have to take the power and distribute it here. So it's going to be here, multiplied here, and multiplied here. Now, expanding is not the same if all of them are multiplied. If there's a number, you just multiply it by the number or the coefficients. So here basically is going to be 2 power of 3. So 2 to the power of 3. And here we have a k to the power 6. K to the power 6. And then here m to the power of 12. M to the power of 12. Because when you distribute powers, it means you're going to multiply the powers by each other. Now, 2 to the power of 3 is going to be 8. And these are going to be the same. So this one's going to be 8. So let's write it here. The answer will be 8. And then k power 6 and m power of 12, like this. So k power 6 and m power of 12. And this is the final answer for this question. Focus on the steps of distributing powers. And it means we're going to multiply the power by the powers inside. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, this one's done. Question 25. Let's zoom out. I think this is the last question here. Yeah. Okay. So question 25, two circles C1, C2 are drawn on a centimeter grid with a scale of 1 centimeter for 1 unit on each axis. The center of circle C is at the point with coordinates -1 and 3, and the radius of C1 is 13 centimeters. The center of circle C2 is at the point with coordinates 7 and 18, and the radius is 6 centimeters. Work out the distance between the center of C1 and the center of C2. Now, the center of C1 is this one, and the center of C2 is this one. We need the distance between this and this. This is the idea of this question. Now, to find the distance between 2 points or 2 coordinates, we're going to use the rule of distance between the points, which is the difference of x's squared plus the difference of y squared under the square root. So the distance will be like this. Let me write it here. So the distance will equal under the square root, of course. Don't forget that. Under the square root. Difference of x's squared. So you're going to put it inside the square root brackets like this. And they are supposed to be added. So difference of x's. So we say x1 minus x2. And then y1 minus y2, like this. And both of them will be squared. Both of them will be squared. And added, okay? So here, squared. This is the rule of finding the distance between 2 points or 2 coordinates points. Now, let's use the numbers here. We already have the x's and we already have the y's. We're going to put them or substitute them here. So under the square root, same idea. Here, let's use the square root. Okay, under the square root, we will put the numbers. So the x's, x1 and x2, we can use it in that order. So let's use the brackets first. So x1 is -1, and then minus x2, which is 7. And then close the bracket, okay? And then plus brackets, same idea. We're going to put square, of course, here. And then here we have, because this one is x1, this one will be y1. So 3, and then minus y2, which is 18, and then all squared, okay? So this one will be squared, and this one will be squared. Now, you can put the whole thing in the calculator, and it will give you the distance correctly. Now, let's put the whole thing in the calculator to find the answer, okay? So here, I'm going to use the calculator, square root, and then after the square root, put the bracket, -1, use it in order, okay? -1, -7, close bracket, squared, and then plus bracket, and then you do 3 minus 18, close bracket, squared. Push equal, and you'll get the final answer, which is 17. And this is the answer for this question. Now, this is the total distance or the distance between the two coordinates or the 2 points. Focus on this formula. It's very important. It's used to find the distance between 2 points. Now, let's move on to the next question. And this is the last question, I think. Yes. Explain why circle C1 intersects circle C2. Now, the difference between the centers is what? The difference is 17. Like the centers of the points is 17. And we already have the radius here. So it's 13 and 6. So the radius of each circle is 13 and 6. As we said that the distance between the centers is 17, and the radii, they are together 19. So, for example, if you have two circles like this, here and here, the distance between the centers is less than their radii. So the radius, this is the center, and this is the center. Okay. Now the distance is 17, as we said. So this one is 17, and the two radii together is more than 17. It means here we have the two radii are 13 and 60 and 6, and they are bigger than 17. And the distance between them 17, it means they must overlap in 2 centimeters, because the total distance between the radii should be 19, but the distance that we found is 17. It means there are 2 centimeters overlapping inside of each other. This means that the two circles are intersecting together. So this is how you answer a question like this. You can say that 17 is less than the distance between the radii or the total radii, or the 19 here, which is the two radii, is bigger than the distance between the two centers. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.